My name is Anna Wolfington. I'm here not as an expert or a clinician, but as a mom of four. And I first became aware of Dr. Aguirre's work during a time that I was just trying to show up for my kids, and during a time that they were going through some struggles. So I avidly read DBT for Dummies, mindfulness for borderline personality disorder. And it gave me, I can honestly say it just changed the way I parent. It gave me clarity, it gave me more understanding for the struggles that they go through. And it just made me more compassionate, more aware. And it helped me show up for them. So later I got to meet Dr. Aguirre, and behind all those accolades and all those accomplishments that were just described, he founded and leads the adolescent adolescent psychiatry center at the McLean Hospital, and many other things. There's a person that deeply cares and that is generous and kind, and just want to thank you, doctor, for meeting with my children and taking the time and not rushing them and helping them and us be seen and feel seen and understood. And just wanted to have a little moment of gratitude for you. Thank you.
Dr. Blaise is pretty awesome. So Blaise was supposed to do this panel yesterday, but a part of DBT is being on call for when someone's in the moment struggling. And Blaise, I think it speaks volumes to who you are as a person that you took the time, instead of doing the panel yesterday, to help someone who was really struggling. So I'm really grateful to get to know you and to get to talk to you today.
And it's awesome. I've known you for 6 years, which is incredible. And I've been inspired by your story and the story of the foundation. And I have so much deep gratitude for Ryan, who called me like 6 years ago and told me what they were doing and what you guys were doing. And I had found a family in Vegas that had a very similar way of thinking and just doing beautiful work, charging a lot less, which is incredible.
Well, that being said, I think we should get into it. If you had to pick one of the most powerful tools in your work with helping some of the most suicidal young people, what would you say that tool is?
So I think, I don't think I can pick one, but I'm going to pick two because I think that they're connected. One is my own mindfulness, because it's very hard to work with suicidal patients. Many of us who work with suicidal patients take our work home. We worry that the person is not going to possibly be alive the next day. And without being fully present, we cannot help the person, and if we get caught up in our own fears, we can't do this work. So for me, mindfulness. But the part of DBT that I found so incredible was the skill of validation, which is the recognition that whatever's going on in a person's mind is what's going on in their mind, and that trying to talk them out of it or trying to convince them that they shouldn't feel that way is not an approach that works.
I really love what you said about doing your own mindfulness practice first, so then you can show up for other people. And I think it's very, as Anna beautifully shared, I think being a parent, being anyone in a supporting role, I've had the gift of being able to be in that role for some people in my life, but it also is a lot. And I'm curious, what advice would you give to parents, to someone who's in that supporting role, seeing someone struggle so much and wanting to help them? What can they do?
I think when we see our children suffer, the thing that most parents want to do is fix the problem. And so, they look for answers, and a lot of mental health will automatically go to medication, for example. And not to say that medication isn't warranted in many circumstances, but I often think it's too far a step initially. And simply sitting without trying to fix the problem and listening to what the problem is key. I think that sometimes what happens is, somebody will say that they're struggling, and immediately a parent will say, let me tell you what you need to do. But they haven't assessed what's actually going on. So it's the act of deep listening, and when you listen deeply, a very interesting thing happens. The brains of the self and the other person start to regulate. They start to calm down. And as they calm down, listening and hearing increases, validation increases, and problem solving increases. So it's to actually sit and listen without immediately jumping in to solve problems. And the other part of that is that fixing other people's problems teaches them nothing. Them learning what to do in difficult situations is a skill that they will take with them for the rest of their lives. And I think that that's one of the most incredible hallmarks of the Inspiring Children Foundation, is that I don't hear a lot of sitting down and simply talking about problems. It's, what are you going to do about it? And I love the mission-focused, the activity-focused aspect of the work that you do. A lot of the stuff that's gone on today has been done by alumni, by students who've gone through the program, and look how incredibly this has turned out. I mean, it surpassed my expectation. I wasn't sure what this was going to be, but this is so much better than what I expected. So, yeah.
Thank you, Blaise. We do have only 30 seconds left.
Oh.
So, yeah.
There's a skill called opposite action. And opposite action is that every single time we have an emotion, we have an urge to do something. When we're afraid, we want to run away. When we're angry, we want to lash out. Opposite action is the skill of doing the opposite of what your action urge tells you to do. So when you're afraid and there's nothing to be afraid of, it's to lean in and listen. When you're sad, it's not to isolate, it's to reach out and connect with people. So the skill of opposite action is a very powerful tool. So, well, this is core to DBT, dialectics. Dialectics says that two opposing truths can be, by definition, true at the same time. So let's, for example, think about self-injury, the cutting of the self. Many people think it's about attention seeking, and it turns out that in our research, it's almost never about attention seeking. It's almost always about emotion regulation. So here's a truth. Cutting is a problem. Here's another truth. Cutting is a solution. So cutting is both a problem and a solution. They both exist at the same time. The only problem is that cutting is a very maladaptive but effective tool. So it's understanding that cutting is solving a problem. It's not an adaptive problem, and so that there are other skills and tools that you can bring to bear to solve the problem rather than just cutting. So there's where two truths coexist, cutting as a problem and cutting as a solution.
I think that's our time, but I could talk to Blaise all day, and I'm so grateful I got the chance to interview you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.